Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Warships with Engaging Titan. We're on Solomon Islands map, playing in the domination mode. So we have 3 cap circles and it's the first to score 1,000 points or wipe out the enemy fleet wins the battle. Once again, I'm in the destroyer, the USS Samson, the tier 2 US destroyer, and it's mostly a tier 2 battle. There are a few tier 3 ships, well there's a good few tier 3 ships. Most of the tier 3 ships being at the heavier end of the scale. Now I'm probably going to stay playing with the Samson in the near future. Plan is at the moment I'm going to accumulate experience points in the captain but not assign them. The idea being that I would then use the captain, buy a new ship at a higher tier and then move the captain into that high tier ship and then assign the experience points to the captain to various traits more suitable to that ship rather than build a captain suitable for the Samson and then having to go and rebuild them at a higher tier and spend real money for it. Now, whether I'll remain playing World of Warships PC long enough to do this is another day's work, because as far as I know, World of Warships Legends, the console version, is due out in April, sometime in April, and I'm likely to switch over to World of Warships console as soon as it happens. Now, I'll certainly give it a try. The only thing that might stop me is if it turns out to be a bit of a dud, or, you know, it doesn't do well at launch or well enough matchmaking. Because I'm not a very patient guy and I don't like hanging around too much for very long matchmaking. It's one of the problems here at Tier 2. In fact, I try now and play World of Warships at the more popular times just in order to get the matchmaking queue down as low as I can, because sometimes Tier 2 you could wait 5 minutes and finish up with 2 or 3 or 4 ships aside or something like that, which can be a bit boring really. Now, I am breaking kind of one of my rules here. I'm coming out here with not what I would regard adequate support. There's 2 more ships with me, but they're not in any position to directly support me right now. But the basis I'm doing is I was at the most extreme end of the fleet. This is the nearest cap circle to where I started out. And I'm basically a scout type ship, so I felt if I came out this way, if nobody came here, no enemy ships were detected, when I entered the cap circle, then I could flip alpha from my team, and if enemy ships were here, by going wide, by not doing what my 2 allies are doing, which is skirting along the edge of the island and then coming out into a big surprise, but by going out wide of the cap circle and coming in towards the enemy fleet, also coming in towards the cap circle and towards the island, I have basically the shortest possible run to escape if I need to just decide, pick this for Game of Soldiers, I'm out of here. The other problem with my allies is that I'm already facing the direction I want to go when I'm running away, whereas my allies have now to come out and turn around, and they're going to get shot at with going and coming, so to speak. The allied destroyer there sailed in front of my torpedo, so I had to launch them a bit later than I wanted to, but he's put out a smoke screen, so I've put up a smoke screen for him, and I'm going to take advantage of his smoke screen to hide behind, and he can go and hide in mine. Now, I think he should personally turn around and run away. We're outnumbered, and outgunned, I think, in this location. However, the allied cruiser is coming out as well, and he is in my way at the moment, and I just need him to get out of the way so I can launch another spread of torpedoes. Now, I should have done a narrow spread here, in hindsight. I just kind of completely forgot about the narrow spread as an option. And then I push forward and I want to turn around and use my other side to launch torpedoes. I'm in decent smoke here, so I don't want to start shooting. Because it would give my position away. I thought I would turn around. And I'm also thinking we're not doing very well. We're taking a lot of punishment here and we're under fire from a lot of ships. So my thoughts are still that we're probably better off leaving, and I think the allied cruiser has made a couple of mistakes. One of them is that he has kept firing through the smoke screens, so that he's giving away his position rather than actually coming back here and using the shelter of the island to reduce the number of ships that can shoot at him. And he's also sailing directly away. Now, I understand how it happens. I was doing it all the time at the start as well. Launched this torpedo spread. The idea that I was going to skim along the side of the island there, but I think I put him a bit too close to the island. And I'm just turning around. I'm still not happy with the way the situation is going for us. A lot of incoming fire. And we don't have a lot of targets to see. There's a pretty decent smoke screen. The enemy destroyer has done its job and has covered his cruisers and some of his battleships pretty well. Now I've sent off a lot of spread of torpedoes or cruisers on the last legs. And it's going to be 2 destroyers versus 4 ships, including the enemy destroyer. It's probably better off just to get out of here and put some distance between myself and the enemy. My allied destroyer is just going in the wrong direction, and I am basically not shooting because I'm not detected. And I don't want to be detected. Managed to get some more torpedo hits, that's actually good. And some flooding. And I just launch some torpedoes off in the direction of people who might be chasing after me. And now I decide to start shooting because I am pushing in. I'm going to get a bit of cover from the island when I'm detected as well. I think the destroyer's gotten close enough to see me, and I'm going to start shooting at that destroyer because I think he is the bigger threat. He's the one that's spotting me, and he's a big threat to the enemy, to the fleet as well. Like, if we can get rid of him, I think he's a valuable ship to get rid of. I put more torpedoes in the water behind me just in case somebody runs into them. It's more of a hope. I have them available. I might as well launch them and use them, and still go on and bring my guns to bear on the enemy destroyer. The island is between me, so I'm not only exposed to 2 enemy ships of the total that were out there, and we've lost the other destroyer as well. Enemy destroyer is not going to be affected by my torpedoes because he doesn't go near them, he just turns away, and I'm stopped shooting because if I stop shooting, I'm no longer detected. So I've managed to do a decent amount of damage, and I've pretty much got away scot-free, but that was a losing exchange for our team, and by and large we'd been better off if we didn't do it, or hadn't done it, shall we say, and the enemy fleet had been left alone. But I need to get back now to the centre because we're down. They have 2 cap circles captured and we're down ships, so it's utterly imperative that we reduce some of the number of enemy ships and we take Bravo and flip that, because otherwise we're going to lose the game on points. So there's an opportunity presented itself. Enemy destroyers come out in front of me. I'm going to start using the guns. Managed to set him on fire, and he has slowed down a lot, so he's probably taking engine damage or something like that. Now he's managed to wipe out a friendly destroyer with a spread of torpedoes, and he's gone. So I'm going to continue sailing towards Bravo. Enemy ships behind me are starting to fire on my position as well, so I'm going to tuck in closer to the island. Make it a bit more difficult for them both to spot me and to shoot at me even if they do spot me, or even if I am spotted. I'm not detected at the moment, so I'm stopping firing again. Not going to shoot back because that would just give away my position. I'm better off if I can get into Bravo first. They'll be spotted as soon as I go in there, but at least I'm going to either deny the enemy capture points or help flip it over to our side depending on what's going on. And it's narrow waters, so it's one of these places where it's just profitable to send out torpedoes willy-nilly. Just fill the water with torpedoes because enemy ships are going to be sailing around and maneuvering, and there isn't a lot of room for sailing around and maneuvering. So the more torpedoes you can put in the water in a narrow channel like this, the harder you're going to make it for the enemy fleet. And I've generated smoke because it would benefit me and stop the guys from behind me shooting me, stop the guys in front of me shooting me, and also help my fellow destroyer. So now smoke is set, and basically the smoke is going to be run out, then it's going to start dissipating. So I'm accelerating out of my smoke circle. I'm going to widen it a little bit. I want to get out of the line of sight of too many ships as well, so I'm getting fire from every direction here, so I just want to clear the channel and again send another spread of torpedoes just down the channel. I'm not really planning on hitting anybody so much as if anybody decides to come up this way, they're going to have to maneuver around them. Now I actually managed to get a hit in there. Got some more torpedo hits and some more flooding. And that spread of torpedo hits that spread of torpedoes that I fired when I hit, I wasn't particularly aiming them at the time. I was just firing them down the channel. It's because the other destroyer or the other cruiser maneuvered to keep firing me that he actually drove into my torpedo spread. If he had kept going his original course, I think he would have evaded those. He would have got past them before they would have reached his location. However, the destroyer from Alpha has caught up with me, and I'm running away. I'm covered from the cruiser in Bravo by the smoke screen, and I've got this guy, and I just want to get rid of him, so I'm focusing my fire on him. But I'm also trying to open the distance. The other destroyer is moving out to engage him as well, and I'm just going to fire a spread of torpedoes, force him to turn as much as anything else. And he's focusing his fire on me. So I'm just going to resume firing on him now as soon as I can. He's already made the turn, but he's going to pass with 2 destroyers basically firing at him. But hopefully my allied destroyer is firing at him as well. So we're going to get Eastern torpedoes in the water in that direction, but I think he's going to safely evade them. However, anticipating his turn, when I get some shots onto target. No, I didn't manage to hit, but he's still firing on me. Unfortunately for me, I'm keeping a low profile to the enemy destroyer, and I'm going to run out of water here because I'm going to hit the island in front of me. I didn't realise it at the time because I was paying so much attention to what was going on behind me. But launch another spread of torpedoes, and yes, you see the land sign comes up, and I'm going to start hitting this island. So I reverse the engine. I'm going to hit it before the engine goes into reverse, but at least I have... your man has turned, the torpedoes have forced him to turn, and he is going to just destroy our other destroyer because he just launched a spread of torpedoes right into him. Fortunately for me, I managed to get him with my shots as well. Now I'm forced to back up, and the cruiser is coming around the edge of the smoke screen. Fortunately for me, it's just the cruiser and not the battleship is in the company. Now he's out of torpedo range at the moment. So I am not firing because I don't want to be spotted. Now he's kind of a rough idea where I am. And I've launched torpedoes on the hope that he'll drive into them. And then I'm going to wait, change direction, and then launch another spread as soon as I get the reload off. I want to change course as well because I don't want to hit the island a second time. That would just make things too easy. Taking some fire here, so I now need to... spent too long, I think, on the torpedoes here. I should have switched. As soon as I changed direction, as soon as I got spotted again, I should have switched the guns and started firing back straight away rather than sitting here waiting for the torpedoes to get into range or me to get into position to fire torpedoes. I eventually stopped fluting around and actually started shooting back, and he's got very low hit points, so if I can manage to get a few hits on, we're in with a good chance. And I'm taking fire from the damn battleship as well. He's finally turned up in this quarter, and we have some more we get some more torpedoes out. Might make him turn, or he might sail into them, you never know. Stranger things have happened, but he's pretty low on health at this stage, and we're just going to get some more shots out and we'll get a few hits, and hopefully the battleship seems to have stopped shooting at me, so it's just, I think, the cruiser. So I managed to reverse there and evade a salvo, which is quite good because I don't have a lot of hit points left either, and it's put him out of the water. I'm no longer detected. I'm going to stop shooting for a moment and let the battleship pick on something else for a while. And I think the enemy are still ahead. We've caught up a little bit, but I have a feeling that if the enemy actually stopped fighting with us at this stage and ran away, I might actually have won the game. We do not have that luxury though. We've got to sink ships if we're going to win this game, and it is therefore important that we sink this battleship, because I reckon he's fairly isolated. We've got 3 ships in Bravo at the moment, and I'm probably spotting him. They should be in a position to see this Tyrann, and he's firing at them. So I reckon, and they should be firing back. They should be in a position to fire back. So hopefully they're firing back, and I will be. Yeah, they've decided somebody's decided that he's the priority target. So I'm not detected, but I won't be able to get within torpedo range without becoming detected. So I'm not using my guns deliberately at this stage because I don't want to attract his attention. I am such an easy kill that he might be tempted to swing his guns around to me to take me out. And any lucky shot will take me out, whereas I want to get at least torpedoes in the water if I can possibly manage it. So I am detected, But I am now probably close enough to start launching torpedoes, so then I start turning around to see if I can get a spread out from the other side. I'm still not firing at him because there is a chance that he might stay focused on his original target, because he's going to have to swing his guns around to me in order to try and sink me. And he might decide not to do that. So we've got, so he started shooting at me, and with his second turret he manages to take me out. But I've managed to get a torpedo hit, 2 torpedo hits, and some flooding, and we've managed to reduce his hit points considerably. So now he's quite manageable for the battleships on my team that are coming after him. There's 2 battleships coming out this side of the island, coming after him. So we're in with a chance. We're still over 200 points behind. But if we sink him, it's going to make a difference. It's going to reduce the gap, and it's going to give us an advantage. So, and we're in good shape. These 2 ships are in pretty good shape. And 1 decent salvo, I think, should do the job. Now, the King Albert's after spending its repair there just to put out a fire, which probably is a mistake in its part. Although, you know, 1 decent salvo, I think, is going to do for the Turin. South Carolina is bringing its guns to bear and is firing its forward turrets, and it shuts out, and they manage to hit, and that's it. 1 Turin down, and that has closed the gap considerably. We're now less than 100 points between us. It's anybody's game. I still suspect that if the enemy actually didn't engage, they are engaged with one of our ships over the other side, but it's a 2-to-1 fight, so they're likely to win that, and have just actually destroyed our 3rd battleship. So I suspect if the enemy actually didn't engage, they might still have won on points, because there's just a little over 3.5 minutes left, and they're still ahead on points. Now we are capturing more points per whatever it is every 3 seconds than they are, but we're still over 100 points behind. It's a tough call, I suppose, but I think it's safest on our part if we continue to pursue the enemy fleet, which is what we're doing. Is just going to take us a while to turn around, because battleships do not turn quickly, and the South Carolina also doesn't want to get stuck on the island. Not at this stage of the game. Any delay could cost us quite fatally, because it'll take us the best part of a minute, I think, to clear the channel. The South Carolina is kind of also waiting, I think, for the other ship to catch up. So he's taking his time, and he's just making sure that the 2 of us are together, the 2 ships are together, so that they have the firepower and hit point advantage. Especially if we meet the enemy 1 at a time, because the enemy fleet was separated the last time we saw them. Don't know what their hit points situation is like, though. So, whether or not, with the 2 minutes, they're still ahead. They're 100 points at this stage with 2 minutes to go. Okay, they're less than 100 points now. Don't know. It's very close. Very difficult to call. But if they lose a ship, then towards us, the advantage will swing around to very strong in our direction. And given it's all battleships at this point, it's very possible that they might, if everybody's actually at full health, it's possible that nobody might kill anyone before the end of the game. It's people are going to have to focus fire and stuff like that as well. They can't just distribute fire among enemy ships. They must actually pay attention, and the enemy South Carolina has appeared, and he's in pretty good health, but both of our ships are in pretty good nick as well. And I haven't spotted the other enemy ship, but he's only got a sliver of health left, so that is going to change the game. The NASA really would have been better off not turning up, because he is easily killable before the end of the game. The enemy South Carolina here on its own might not actually be killable in the whatever it is, the minute and a bit that's available, or the 2 minutes since they made contact. Whereas the NASA is killable, even though the ships are going to fire once every 20 seconds or once every 30 seconds or something like that. Battleships are actually with a pretty low rate of fire, and there goes the NASA. And that has flipped the cap points over, so now we have the point advantage, and at this stage we're going to win the game, because there's no way the enemy South Carolina is going to sink one of our ships before the game is over. The shooting at this point is really a formality, because we're not going to sink their ships either. There isn't enough time left they just won't get enough salvos out, and their battleships are just on the ready to fire, and everybody's firing armor piercing as well, so nobody's going to set anyone on fire or anything like that. So unless somebody gets lucky citadel hits or something like that, everyone's showing, nobody's showing broadsides or doing anything like that to make it easy, so we say, for the other side. 15 seconds left, nothing really remarkable is going to happen here. Secondaries of the King Albert's actually, I think, starting to engage as well, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. This South Carolina's on fire, but he still has more than half his hit points, and who knows, he probably has heals and all sorts of things still available. But that's it, game over, time has run out, and we were ahead in points, so we won. So 28,000 damage, close to 3 times my hit points and damage. 2 enemy ships sunk. In the team score, I think I came number 3 behind the 2 surviving battleships, who did pretty well and killed quite a lot of enemy ships between them, 5 ships between them. So that late torpedo spread on the enemy turbine actually did nearly over 9,000 points of damage, which was quite a lot of damage. So once again, this game proves that a good run is better than a bad stand. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and a share. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.